how is it going, Trailblazers? So today, we're going to take a look at all of the potential upcoming character banners coming to Honkai Star Rail from version 4.5 all the way up to version 4.8. Along with that, we'll also be covering all of the currently rumored rerun banners, so you can start planning how you want to spend your stellar jades. But before we get started, let me just give the usual disclaimer that everything discussed here is based on unofficial sources. So nothing is officially confirmed yet, and things can still change before these updates actually release. With that out of the way, let's get into it without wasting any more of your time. Starting things off with version 4.5. This patch is looking absolutely stacked, mainly because we're getting 2 brand new SP versions of existing characters. Kicking things off in Phase 1 is Robin Summeretto. Robin Summeretto is a brand new Wind Remembrance character and the first alternate version of Robin. Unlike the original, she's built around summoning up to 3 memo sprites that gradually build momentum throughout battle. Once all 3 are active, they enter a powerful fever state that creates a zone allowing allies to ignore part of enemy defense while increasing the damage enemies take. The memo sprites also attack on their own, adding a surprising amount of extra damage. Overall, Robin Summeretto looks like a ramp-up support that enables one massive burst window for the entire team, and if her beta kit remains largely unchanged, she could easily become one of the strongest remembrance supports in the game. One thing that's especially exciting about Robin is that she doesn't simply buff one specific playstyle. Based on the current beta information, she looks flexible enough to slot into a wide variety of team compositions thanks to the combination of T-wide buffs, defense ignore, and the additional damage provided by her memo sprites. If Hoyoverse leaves her numbers mostly intact, there's a very good chance she'll end up becoming one of the premier universal supports for Remembrance teams going forward. Then during Phase 2 we have Aventurine Waveflare. Unlike his original Preservation version, Aventurine Waveflare is a quantum elation DPS built around gambling mechanics. His attacks generate punchline stacks while his jackpot mechanic can immediately advance his action, allowing him to chain together multiple turns and unleash massive burst damage. Current theory crafting also suggests he'll work extremely well in follow-up attack teams, making him one of the most unique DPS characters we've seen in quite some time. He's also shaping up to be one of those characters with a very high skill ceiling. Since his damage relies on properly managing his jackpot activations and extra turns, players who learn how to optimize his rotations will likely get significantly better performance out of him. That kind of rewarding gameplay is something we don't see very often, and it's one of the reasons so many players are already excited for his release. Now, let's move on to the reruns. According to the current roadmap, Phase 1 is expected to rerun both Hyacinth and Evanesha. Both remain extremely strong characters that have aged very well and are still among the best options in their respective roles. Then during Phase 2, we have Ashvale alongside Jiaoqiu. Ashvale is still a solid DPS, while Jiaoqiu has started becoming much more valuable again thanks to newer characters and recent balance changes. With 2 brand new SP characters and 4 valuable reruns potentially arriving in the same patch, version 4.5 could easily become one of the most difficult updates for free-to-play players. Unless you've already been saving for quite a while, you'll probably have to make some tough decisions. Moving on to version 4.6. While version 4.6 only introduces 1 brand new character, she could still end up having a major impact on the game's future meta, which is of course none other than Pearl. Pearl is currently rumored to be a Wind Elation character, and based on the latest kit information, she appears to be taking Elation teams in a slightly different direction. Earlier leaks suggested she had been redesigned into more of a traditional support, but newer information indicates she has actually retained her shielding capabilities. However, unlike conventional preservation-style sustained characters, Pearl's kit reportedly revolves around how frequently your team lands attacks. Current leaks suggest her abilities become stronger the more attacks your allies perform throughout battle, making her another character that naturally synergizes with fast-paced elation and follow-up attack teams that are constantly triggering additional hits. On top of that, she still appears to provide shields for the team, meaning she'll likely contribute both survivability and offensive utility at the same time instead of functioning as a pure sustain. While it's still too early to know exactly how strong she'll be, Pearl is shaping up to be another important piece of Hoyoverse's growing elation ecosystem. If these mechanics remain largely unchanged, she could end up becoming a very desirable support for many of the upcoming characters we've already discussed, especially units like Aventurine Waveflare and Nihilix. Now for the reruns. Phase 1 is currently expected to feature Silver Wolf level 999. As more elation characters continue releasing, her value has only increased, making this rerun potentially one of the highest priority banners for many players. Then during Phase 2 we have Morton X-Blade. Even after newer DPS characters have entered the game, he continues performing extremely well thanks to his unique mechanics and consistently strong damage output. So even though version 4.6 only introduces one brand new character, the reruns alone could make it a surprisingly expensive patch, depending on which characters you're still missing. Next up is version 4.7. The headline character this time is Nihilix. Nihilix is currently expected to be a quantum elation DPS focused on consuming skill points while scaling heavily with speed. She also appears to have supportive capabilities unlocked through Eidolons, potentially making her both an excellent hypercarry and a powerful teammate for other elation units. If her current kit survives beta, she could easily become one of the most future-proof characters in the entire 4X series. She also seems designed with long-term scaling in mind. Characters that offer both strong personal damage and additional team utility usually age extremely well, especially as new teammates continue releasing over time. So even if she doesn't completely dominate the meta on launch, she could end up becoming one of those characters that only gets stronger with every future update. As for the reruns, version 4.7 is currently expected to feature Hizelins together with Aglia. Both continue to perform exceptionally well in the current meta, making this another patch that's likely going to be difficult to skip. Finally, let's move on to version 4.8. And honestly, this could end up being one of the biggest patches Honkai Star Rail has ever released. According to current roadmap leaks, version 4.8 is expected to introduce the long-awaited Zenless Zone Zero collaboration featuring Ellen Zhou and Astra Yao. While we still don't know their complete kits, elements, or paths, they're already shaping up to be some of the most anticipated characters on the roadmap. The collaboration itself is arguably even more exciting than the characters. Hoyoverse has already confirmed the crossover, so there's a good chance we'll also receive a dedicated story event, themed rewards, and possibly even exclusive cosmetics alongside the banners. While nothing beyond the playable characters has been officially revealed yet, expectations are definitely high. Now let's talk about the reruns. Version 4.8 is currently expected to rerun Himiko Nova alongside Cypher. Himiko Nova has already established herself as one of the strongest Fire Erudition characters in the game, making her rerun especially attractive for anyone who skips her initial release. Meanwhile, Cypher has remained an incredibly solid and versatile character whose value has stayed remarkably consistent thanks to her ability to fit into multiple different team compositions. But anyways, that's pretty much all of the current roadmap information and rerun speculation that we have right now for versions 4.5 through 4.8. So if you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like and don't forget to subscribe if you want to stay up to date with all the latest Honkai Star Rail leaks, news, and updates. That's it for now though, so I'll see you guys in the next video.